Welcome to the Shakedown Sound Series.
In this series, we're going to share with you envelope filters by some of our favorite manufacturers.
Join us on this long, strange trip. Today, the Shakedown Sound is being brought to you by the Wah Rocker from Totally Wycked Audio. I feel like I should have a Boston accent when I say it. Totally Wycked. It wasn't even Boston. That was a bad New York. And the Beard's going to bail us out right here and tell you about this pedal.
Right. So based on the original Guyatone Wah Rocker, which is kind of legendary, been used by a lot of people. If you look at their website, they have a whole list there. Lenny Kravitz pops out. I can't think of the song.
Govan.
I can hear the song in my head. I can't think of what the song is. Yeah.
Guthrie.
Been used a lot. And when Guyatone stopped, I think went out of business, whatever. Because it's kind of weird, because I always feel like Guyatone was under Godlink, and now I don't know the whole Maxon's in there somewhere too. And anyway, they just demand went up. Vintage market, getting a lot of prices. So they took the Wah Rocker, kind of redid the circuit, put it in here, added some new stuff to it, added a couple of knobs that are making it much more versatile. And now we have the Wah Rocker. So whenever we do this Shakedown Sound series, we always start with sounds from the Doodah Man, asking whether it can get it. And well, no. But we don't feel bad about saying that, because it doesn't say it anywhere in the literature, but with our vast experience now doing 10 episodes on envelope filters, this is coming off as a bandpass filter.
And even I can understand that, because if you go back and watch the other videos, which you should, we talk about that sounding like a wah, like a cocked wah. Right. Well, the word wah is right on top of the pedal. So it's not surprising that it's that. Right.
So in a low pass filter, which is typically what you'd go to for sounds for the Doodah Man, you're lit wherever you set your peak. Anything below that's coming through. High pass is letting anything above that come through. On a band pass, it's taking that peak and just getting a narrow bandwidth around it, which is why you get that wah sound. And so if you like, we started the series as not a Jerry tone series, and then the knowledge that this might be, the bandpass filter might be your favorite part, and here's a pedal that is really just locked into doing that one thing.
Right.
And doing it really well. So we're going to jump into this, I guess, start with features.
Right.
And so we have a threshold knob, a gain knob. Get the gain knob out of the way. 19 decibels of gain. So you can...
That's quite a bit.
If you're going straight Wah Rocker sound, no clean guitar in there, you can really push it if you need to. You have a decay, range, and blend. Blend is really nice because that knob blends in your clean signal on your guitar. So all the way to the left, you have just the Wah Rocker. All the way to the right, you have full clean signal coming in with the Wah Rocker. So that's pretty cool. The threshold, and I like to read these because they all write them a little bit differently. But basically it's sensitivity. So adjust the sensitivity of the effect's input signal level. This will in turn increase the frequency range in which the filter is sweeping. I guess because you're letting that filter trip sooner. It's not only going to trip sooner, it's going to have more of a range because it's tripping sooner. Turn clockwise to open the filter with a lower input signal or to increase the frequency range, which the filter is sweeping with a higher input signal. The decay knob, which would be the first knob, controls the speed at which the filter drops off from the peak frequency. Turn clockwise to lengthen the time of the filter sweep. So you get if you go all the way to the left, you get like a real quick drop. I mean, it still goes through its thing,
Right.
but it gets there much quicker. If you turn it all the way right, it takes a long time for that to happen.
Right.
And then finally, and I'm trying to do this really specifically because I watched some other videos on this, and a lot of people didn't kind of dive into what these knobs actually did. So I think it's helpful. Allows users to adjust the center frequency. This is the range, center frequency of the filter. This allows for fine-tuning of the filter sweep range without adjusting your playing dynamics. Turn clockwise to increase the center frequency point. The frequency range of the Wah Rocker is approximately 3 octaves. Of note, and we're not going to show it today, is also there's a little switch. This came with like a little button. We were really confused, and you just had to pop the plastic button out.
Right.
But way down in there deep is a little switch that flips it to bass. So if you're using a bass guitar, you take your range, your frequency range of the guitar, and you lower it considerably so you can hit it with a bass. And in fact, I thought I was flipping the switch and wasn't. We had it on the bass mode, and then when we finally flipped it and got it right, we were like, oh, that's much different. So now to get into it.
Yeah.
So we thought we'd try something different tonight. Normally Pat's playing and I'm turning knobs. I think tonight we're going to let Pat turn knobs. I'm going to play on this one. I'm a little worried about it.
Which means there'd be no rhyme or reason to how the knobs are being turned.
So, 2000 McCarty.
Mm-hmm.
And
There's McCarty pickups.
through the Tyler JT22. Wow, you always do this. I'm not even sure what to do. Ooh. Reference tone?
Yeah, sure.
Let's because that's kind of where we're going to be, right?
The Doodah Man may not walk out, but James Brown might slide behind us at some point.
I'll cut that out.
Good guy.
There we go. Yeah, so we have everything at 50 right now. I guess click it on. I guess really we probably could bring the gain down a little bit. I don't think we need it up quite that high. Let's click it on, and I guess maybe, independently, why don't you just kind of, since you played with it a little bit, dial in kind of a good sound that we can then go back and show each individual knob real quick. So, does that work?
Sure.
Good luck. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's hard to dial in when somebody else is playing.
Yeah.
What did I say? So let's show the blend knob. So if you take the blend knob all the way to the left, that takes the dry signal totally out. And then I'll play that again and you can walk.
So from about 3 to 6 o'clock, it got bigger, more full. From about here to the end. The rest was that really squished, sound. But as you let it more.
And that, I mean, I think is one of the features they added to the pedal, and that's a killer feature.
Mm-hmm.
Because you could, when you're all the way to the left, I think there's definitely like a volume drop.
Yeah.
Which you could make up for with a gain switch.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to prove that point?
Yeah. Go all the way left and then...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you can get that up without bringing the dry in, but then you can bring the dry in too to get it up, or you can do both and really kind of boost it up over top.
Right.
The other knob I think that would be interesting to do by itself is the range?
In the middle, yep.
No, far left.
Far left.
It says
Is it decay?
Decay.
Okay.
Read much.
Small print.
If you go all the way to the left on that knob, we should hear like a real quick drop off. So the single notes will sound different.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you roll through it. Once you roll through it, maybe go back and we'll just hit some chords and let the chords ring kind of all the way to the left in the middle and all the way to the right.
So I have it all the way to the left, and the range and the blend are about 50. And the mic is about 2 inches from my mouth.
Is that all the way? So back to the left.
That's
and
the
I'll
whole
do
way.
chords?
Yep.
So.
Yeah, you definitely hear the difference with the chords. And the single note stuff, it's kind of all a little bit of a wash. But when you rake through a chord, you really hear how it hits hard. And then when it's to the left, tails out, swirls around. Whereas when you turn it to the right, it takes a little bit longer to drop off and then swirls around at the end.
Should we try just the peak by itself?
Yeah.
Where do you want to start it?
The peak. Let me try it.
You got the whole way around?
Yeah, I did all around, and I went back, and then I stopped at like 10.
The only one we haven't really talked about was what, Threshold?
Mm-hmm. And now, I'm at the risk of making an edit, these two are related, correct? Right? If I turn this, the more I turn this, the more
sure.
sensitive that is.
Yeah. No, I don't. Because the range is that peak or range?
It's range.
Range. So the range is setting where the peak is. It's where it's rolling. So if we go a little bit higher, maybe for this, it's moving up towards some of the higher frequencies where it's falling off on either side. The threshold is doing the sensitivity, but then as you trip it easier. So if you're playing soft, it's not going to trip as easy. It takes less input to make it trip the higher it is.
Right.
And so if it trips faster, it's going to... I think that's what you're thinking about. The directions are like, if it trips faster, it's going to extend the...
Right.
Okay.
And by having this further to the right, it's going to trip it faster because it's giving more input gain.
So it'll be interesting to see where it gets when you roll it around.
So I'm going to take this one.
Yeah.
You want to start all the way off?
It's up to you. You're turning the knobs there. You get to make the big decision. I was doing that thing where I keep playing, and then you're like, "Oh, what should I turn?"
Right. Yeah. It always thinks about Hendrix at the end. I'm coming to get you.
So it's totally unique in the realm of all the envelope filters we've done.
Right.
There's been a few that have bandpass filters in them, but I mean, they've really said, "Okay, let's take the band." So we're assuming it is, but they've really said, let's take the bandpass filter, give it a lot of features. The dry signal being brought into it, I think, is the only one that I know of that we have that's bringing the dry signal. Is that true? I don't think anything else brought a dry.
Not that I can recall yet.
Or that we haven't got to one. So kind of unique in that way with the dry signal being brought in. It's like a wah pedal without a treble.
Right.
So, although I'm not sure I would say auto wah. Although Dan and Mick would say auto wah, envelope filter, all the same thing.
Right.
But sometimes you get there's some, if you look on Amazon at some of the cheaper, the $30 auto wah kind of pedals, some of them will actually have a speed on it that will cycle it. This is still in the envelope filter camp where picking.
Yeah, attack. Right.
The attack of your pick affects how. Because if you're picking. Still goofy. Now, interesting. We took it and put a drive after it, and so we haven't done that a lot with the envelope filter series,
right?
But certainly, you can. And as far as placement goes, typically in front, just like you put your wah pedal in front of a drive pedal, put an auto wah in front of it too. But we did that. We put the Barber Electronics Direct Drive after it,
right?
And let you play out. So in this one, we're just changing.
We did. We changed it all up.
Changed it all up. So I think, anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Always like to take a minute and just stop and say thank you to everybody that is clicking that subscribe button, hitting the like button, clicking on the notification bell, going out to Instagram and Facebook. We really appreciate it. Anytime you interact with the show, it helps us bring you more stuff like this. And so thank you for that. And I think that was a quick wrap up.
It was. You're getting good at that.
Well, it went from we're talking about the pedal to we're done. Just
that's what happens. So with that, I'm PJ on behalf of the Beard, reminding you, no matter what you hear, you never have too much gear. And when I snap my finger, I'm going to have a 1995 PRS Standard 24 in my hand. Bye.